The first step when installing a light bar is to cut out this template right here. We'll tape this onto the top of our truck to make sure that we get the right location for the flasher on top, and this will show us exactly where to drill our holes and how big to drill our holes. You don't have to cut this out exactly perfectly, it's not that critical, you just want to get a good idea of where your light bar is going to end up and how square it is to the body, so you get the holes drilled where you want them. Okay, so place this on here, get a little bit of tape, make sure that it's nice and square and centered. That looks pretty good. I can see this is right down the middle, and it looks pretty square to me. Actually, this looks like it could come forward just a hair. Yeah, okay, I like that better. Now we'll go ahead and start to drill, set our pilot holes right down the middle. This center hole is going to be for the power cable to go through. It's okay to drill it a little bit bigger if you need to. Keep that in place. I'll go ahead and set holes for these. These holes are for the two mounting screws. There's two screws that will hold this down in place. And don't worry about the flasher not being sturdy or strong or damaging your body. We've put many of these flashers onto many different bodies, and even on trucks that have been in races, off-road races and whatnot. They can really take a lot of abuse, and they won't damage your body in any significant way, or any way really. These holes don't need to be super large, they just need to be big enough to fit the two screws through them. They're number 4 screws. The center hole though does need to be a little bit on the larger side to fit the connectors right through it easily. Okay, we have our holes drilled. Let's check it. Take our mounting hardware, screws that go through look like this, they fit through easily, and our flasher, where do we put that? Here. See if this fits through. No, that doesn't quite fit. It almost fits, still a little bit tight, just make it a little bit larger. Alright, that should do it. Nice. Good. Perfect. At this point, something that's good to do, you want to make sure that you orient this in the correct orientation, and the safest way to do that is to take the 9-volt adapter cable that came with it. We're not going to use this for this installation. We're going to actually, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to tap power off of this little pigtail. It's going to plug right into here. But for the sake of testing it, in actual police cars you'll notice that on the passenger side is always the blue side and the red side is the driver's side. That's all the ones we've ever seen anyways. So you want to make sure you get that oriented correctly, so I'm going to grab a battery and check that right now. This plugs right into here. Okay, so we're going to orient it just like this. The way to attach this, there's a screw, there's a washer, there's an aircraft grade lock nut, and then there's another little black washer. The order that we're going to install this in is we're going to put the screw through, and then we're going to take this washer, and the washer has a little flange on it. We're going to put the smaller end towards the flasher and the bigger end towards the body of the truck. Okay, we'll go ahead and kind of feed this through. Put the washer on, and I'm kind of backing up the screw as I'm doing this, and I'll set the nut. Now I won't be able to turn this nut very many turns. Now it's down to this nylon part of it, and I'll need a screwdriver and the nut driver or wrench to hold the nut in place in order to tighten it. I can't tighten it anymore by hand. Grab the other bit of hardware. Do the same thing. This one's a little bit trickier to get the this shoulder washer in there, but it's not too difficult. Okay. Now I'm having a situation where, even though I had the drill guide, my drill has moved a little bit, so it's kind of hard to get this screw in here that doesn't really want to align perfectly. So it's not a big deal. What I'll do is I'll just take my drill, I'll make this hole just a little bit bigger. Shouldn't take much. Alright. Now I'll go ahead and tighten these down. You can tighten these pretty firmly in place. Even though I've tightened that one, it feels like it's tight. It actually has quite a ways to go before it's completely cinched down. These aircraft grade nuts, they really don't come loose even with a lot of vibration. So like I said, don't worry about being rough on these flashers. They can really take a lot of abuse. You can crash your truck, land on them. I mean, they're pretty much as tough as your truck body. We've had ones that lasted for multiple truck bodies, in fact. Now, as you're tightening this down, you can take a look and see. This one came out pretty good. It's straight. But sometimes you'll find that the flasher's a little bit crooked. Just loosen it up and adjust it. If you need to, go back and open up one of your holes to adjust it one way or the other. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Don't make the holes too big. You don't want it so big that the washer isn't holding, or the nut isn't going to hold it in place. But like this is totally fine. It's perfect. Okay, the last kind of big step with installing this is to attach the power, and it's really straightforward. We're just going to take this little pigtail and this little female adapter, plug it right in, and now the system should be complete. When we apply power to it, the light bar should come on, the headlights, taillights, strobes, everything should come on. And I'm going to throw on a couple more zip ties just to keep all of these cables from hanging loosely. In fact, maybe just one zip tie. We'll do that.